There's one thing nearly all successful online business owners have. It enables them to get more done in their business without working more hours. It gets them out of all of the day-to-day things that have to happen but consume so much time. Is it a tool? No. Is it a virtual assistant? No. That's where most go wrong. They buy a bunch of tools and hire low-level virtual assistants first, then they got bogged down learning the tools, training the virtual assistant, and checking the work. Instead of hiring the lowest level VA role first, hire the highest level role first, an integrator. In the book Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman, they documented that nearly all successful companies, large and small, have these distinct leadership roles. The visionary, usually the founder or CEO, who decides on strategy and leads the overall direction of the company. Then the integrator, usually the chief operating officer or COO, who manages the organization on a day-to-day basis and is responsible for executing strategy. Okay, but that sounds like big company stuff, right? No, not only in big companies. I first heard about this book many years ago from Pat Flynn, one of the OGs in the online business space. I learned more about it from Amy Porterfield, another super successful online entrepreneur. And I encountered it myself when I put together a virtual summit interviewing over 20 successful online entrepreneurs who nearly all had an integrator on their team, a second in command. And then I experienced it myself again when I added an integrator when I started my agency a few years ago. So here's how the model works. If you follow my content for any amount of time, you know there are 4 pillars for online business success: strategy, systems, tools, and team. The secret to the visionary and integrator model is the visionary, normally you, is able to stay focused on strategy, content, and products, while the integrator is responsible for establishing the systems, tools, and team to execute your strategy. I tried it the wrong way at first. Like almost everyone else, I started by following the guru's advice and hired a virtual assistant. Magically, for $7 an hour, I was going to find someone that could do everything my online business needed, right? Tech, social, editing, copy, funnel, support. All I'd have to do is imagine it, and my offshore virtual assistant would make it happen while I sleep. No. I've had and have great virtual assistants. They're a core part of our business model, but they're still what I call the personnel laws of physics. First, the broader someone is, the less specialized. Second, the more specialized someone is, the higher the quality of their work. And third, higher quality work means higher hourly rates. The result of those laws is that no single resource can do everything cheaply. If you pay up substantially, you might find someone good at several of them, but then you still need the other roles. If you stay low budget, then you need a variety of virtual assistants. Either way, you wind up with multiple people to manage and coordinate. You basically made yourself a project manager, not a leader. Successful online businesses require a team. Teams require management, and management takes time away from being the visionary. Enter the integrator. After a lot of ups and downs with VAs, freelancers, and service providers, when I started the Expert Business Agency, I decided to just use the successful model from the start that I had learned from the other online entrepreneurs I mentioned. Instead of starting with VAs, I decided to start with an integrator. The difference is an integrator is a higher level role, a second in command that can take on entire functions, not just tasks. So what do I mean by that? VAs typically take on tasks: design an image, write a social media post, add it to a scheduling tool. An integrator takes on growing our social media presence. Huge difference between tasks and functions. When you can delegate entire functions, that is what truly frees up your time. You're not just delegating tasks that you still have to define and document and manage. You're defining a goal and delegating everything related to it. That requires a higher level resource, an integrator, also called a virtual COO or online business manager, but it does not require one full time. Same thing for the other roles on your team like tech, design, and editing. An integrator can establish a part-time virtual team of all the various roles and skills you need and manage them on a day-to-day basis so you don't have to. Even without additional team members, an integrator typically has deep experience in key areas. Yes, they are more expensive to hire, but in return, you dramatically accelerate your process. So let's put it all together. Even if you're just starting out, the visionary and integrator model still applies. The team structure I use and recommend can be put in place for the same cost as an individual full-time virtual assistant. If you imagine a part-time integrator and several part-time specialist VAs and service providers, you'll have a team that has a higher level of expertise in all areas and be able to delegate the management of the team to your integrator. This is what I call the fractional team model, and is exactly how we deliver our services in the Expert Business Agency. When you need something designed, it should go to a designer, not a VA that just learned Canva last month. If you need to run ads, it should go to an ads manager, not a VA that took a cheap Facebook ads course last month. In all cases, the visionary, you, needs to avoid getting bogged down managing day-to-day operations. That is your integrator's responsibility. So here's how to take action. No matter where you are in your online business journey, you could start putting this model in place right now. Your first hire can be a part-time integrator where you set the expectation that you will also need them to handle some implementation as well if you aren't able to hire the additional part-time team members yet. Then, in another direct opposite of what most people do, instead of offloading your lowest value tasks like manage my email, identify the most important area you need help with, usually on the sales and marketing side, and make sure your integrator also has some depth experience in those areas too. Then set expectations that in the beginning, they will not have a full team to delegate to and will be covering some of that implementation themselves. As you generate revenue, then you can fill in the team with more part-time resources. As you start to bring on more resources, then your next step is to systemize your entire business, which I cover in this video next.